welcome to this edition of Garbage Time on UWW-TV. I'm Josh Kirori, and this week I'm joined by Eli Stickles and Michael Hernan. And our job for the next 30 minutes is to simply talk sports. Let's get started. I want to take to the NFL trades to get started. What are some major NFL trades or free agency signings that have happened over the last couple weeks that you guys have seen?
I'm going to talk about my Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles making the big moves like he usually does. We have DJ Moore getting traded to the Bills. Now, with DJ Moore, you'd be lucky enough to get like a fourth-round pick out of this trade. You get a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for this year. So the Bills basically get fleeced by Ryan Poles here. But the Bills, they do get a big target for Josh Allen. And honestly, the Bears definitely won this trade as they get way more than how much DJ Moore is actually worth.
Yeah.
I think it just definitely shows that the Bills really need a wide receiver. They haven't had a good receiver in a while. So I think this is a desperate move for them to get DJ Moore. We'll see if it works out. But for me, Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs, are you kidding me? Like, come on now. We thought the Chiefs were dead. They were losing all this offensive linemen. They lost a player that you're going to talk about later, Josh. And they're losing everybody. And then all of a sudden they get Kenneth Walker. They finally get a running back. I'm pretty sure in Patrick Mahomes' entire career, he has not had a rusher that had a rushing season over 1,000 yards. He has never had a 1,000-yard rusher while he was there with the Chiefs. So for them to get the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, sure, there might be still some questions there on the offensive line. But overall, I mean, Kenneth Walker, this changes everything for the Chiefs' offense.
That's big. I got Trent McDuffie. He just got traded to the Rams from the Chiefs. They gave up 4 draft picks just to get him, and one of them was the 29th in the first round. And just after he got signed, or got traded, he got signed a 4-year, $124 million extension. So I think, the Chiefs are enjoying they have faith in their decision for the future. And yeah, he's coming off a great year. He had 63 tackles last year, 7 pass breakups, and an interception in 13 starts of all last year. So I like that trade. It caught my eye. And yeah, he's making big money for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's definitely the big pickup for the Rams, especially a young defense like the Rams, and they just get even better. I mean, that's huge for the Rams. They're going to be contenders for a while now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now I have a crazy question here. If you could trade anyone to be on any team, who would it be and why?
I'm going to start with right now. There was some breaking news that just came out just a couple of minutes. So Rick Woolen has signed with the Eagles. And as a Packer fan here, that does not make me happy because he was supposed to be ours. So yeah, my pick is Rick Woolen to the Packers because honestly, anybody for the Packers being at corner could really help right now. I know we just signed Benjamin St-Juste, but Benjamin St-Juste to be our number 1 corner, that's not ideal. Kind of disappointed that Rick Woolen signed with the Eagles, but man, he'd been great as a Packer.
It would have been nice.
Speaking of Packers, I'm a Bears fan, but I'm going to put myself in a Packer fan's shoes. And I'm going to say, what if Brandon Aubrey went to the Packers? And here's why. The Packers, they need a new kicker. Brandon McManus can't kick for his life, even if it depended on it. And Brandon Aubrey, he is like one of the best kickers in the entire NFL. And that MLS experience is really paying off. Yes, he did play for Toronto FC in MLS.
Yeah. Well, if I can move any player anywhere, I'd have to go with Shedeur Sanders. I think I just want to give him a real, chance of development and an environment around him that wants to let him prove what he can do, because I don't think he's gotten that full chance yet or has that full confidence in him. And when you don't think the people, who brought you there have full confidence in you, you're not going to play your best. You're not going to do your best.
What do you think the best fit for him will be?
I was thinking about this. I really just had no specific team. It was more about whether he gets that chance to prove himself and fight for that top spot. So no specific team, just one that has good development of younger players.
That'd be some perfect timing.
All right. Moving on now, I want to take it over to Warhawk basketball. So starting with the men's basketball, who stepped up this season and how could the team improve also?
So for the men, I have Colin Madsen, who is a junior, so we basically have another year with him unless he transfers. I hope not. He led the team in points per game with 18 and field goals made with 5.8 field goals per game, as well as 36 steals. I mean, he'll be a very strong senior next year.
Oh yeah, he's going to be nice in season next year. A whole nother year of experience that he got this year and a whole offseason of working on his craft. He's going to be crazy. He's going to be scary next year.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at this Warhawk team, they're losing 6 seniors from this year. And you can see there's so many of that leadership, senior leadership that was on display this year for the Warhawks. 2 seniors that met my eye, Luke Berra and Isaac Verges. Like, you look at those two. I mean, what Berra has done in conference play this year was just incredible. He was just lights out from three, just able to kind of get that second score alongside Madsen. And you look at Isaac Verges. Like, he was the floor general for this Warhawk team. He could do everything. He could probably rebound, pass the ball, get a little score a little bit, and plus he always got physical, got the dirty job done there for the Warhawks.
Yeah.
So those are definitely two seniors that they're going to miss for next year.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I had Luke Barr for the senior that stepped up, 10.2 points per game this year, and he was, like you said, he was just deadly from beyond the arc. So he was a great piece to have, and he played amazing. But I think, they were a consistent winning team all year, and I think to improve, they're going to be losing all those seniors, so it's really just going to be about developing and the freshmen they get in, transfers, getting them mesh with the team well, and just going from there. It's a whole new foundation, losing all that experience. But one senior I had that stood out, Richie Warren, 8.7 points per game and 4.9 rebounds. So with him, they still have Brock Marino, who plays the same position and, can be the main guy. He was the main guy. But for the future, as a shoe filler, I got Tyshawn Teague Johnson. I think he can step it up next year and really fill in those shoes as a big man. Now, moving on to the women's, who stepped up this season for them?
For me, I have a freshman, Brooke Stenclift. I talked about her last semester, and honestly, she's probably the future of Whitewater women's basketball. Being the starter on the team, like on a varsity in high school, is pretty rare. But in college, unless you're like something like nationally ranked or something, that's something else. And she really proved that she could be the future. She put up 212 points this season as a freshman and had made 84 field goals. Like, it definitely proves she could definitely be an impact for the next 3 years.
Oh yeah, she's going to be a problem. I mean, she hasn't even reached her peak yet, so every year getting better. She's going to be helpful for us for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at, it's definitely compared to the men's to the women's side, it's a little bit different. Men's are losing 6 seniors, but this year the women only have 2 seniors.
Yep.
So looking like for next year, I mean, the biggest question entering this year for the Warhawks was that, you lost a whole lot of seniors last year. You lost Casey Carello, Katie Hildebrand, and Maggie Trouch. Who's going to step up? Well, this junior class for the Warhawks have definitely stepped up this year, especially with Mia Gillis and Bree McCurdy. You look at those two, especially I'm going to focus on McCurdy here. She, her bringing the ball up, her being the point guard, replacing Carello, had the big shoes to fill. And she was able to do that well, playmaking abilities, kind of being that floor general, kind of similar to Verges was. But anyways, I mean, this whole junior class, and even some, as you mentioned, Stenclift and the freshman, and a little bit like sophomore, I mean, I thought Shalbowski had a really good year this year. Like, her defense, her defensive presence. Overall, I mean, a lot has stepped up, definitely from the seniors that left.
Yeah, I also had Mia Gillis, especially from her 24-25 season to this season. She went up in points per game by 6 this year, from 6.5 sophomore year to 12.9 junior year, which is, that's a big jump. She stepped it up. She knew she had to take more of a leadership role and, help that team, get where they want to go. So she did great. And moving forward, I think they still have that same foundation. Now I want to take it over to the Baseball World Classic. What teams have surprised you the most, good or bad, and what player has surprised you?
I have Chinese Taipei or Taiwan. They basically had a huge win against Korea to escape elimination. Well, and besides that, they went 2-2, but unfortunately got eliminated. But one player in particular I want to talk about is Yu Chang. He basically carried this Chinese Taipei squad. He had 6 hits in just 4 games, as well as a home run and 5 RBIs, batting .400. He was absolutely disgusting for this team.
Yeah, I'm going with the Brazil national team, and not really the national team itself. I'm talking about a pitcher, this 17-year-old, Joseph Contreras. If you saw what he did against the United States in his outing coming in for relief, he had bases loaded at one point. He had to face Terang, he had to face Harper, he had to face Witt, and the most important, Aaron Judge. And what Contreras did against Aaron Judge with bases loaded and able to get him to ground out into a double play as a 17-year-old. Imagine, this kid is still in high school. So imagine, you're off in school and then you're coming back and say, oh, I made Aaron Judge ground out into a double play. And I also had to face Bryce Terang, Bobby Witt Jr., and Bryce Harper. I mean, that kid's like probably royalty at that school. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, and he's 17 years old. So I think he's committed to Vanderbilt. So
Okay.
remember this name for a while, because this guy will get drafted in a year or two.
Oh, yeah. Now, I almost had to go a different way. I was going to go Seiya Suzuki on Japan, but yeah, Venezuela, 3-0 right now, but mainly because of Luis Arias. 2 home runs Saturday versus Israel and 7 RBIs so far in the tournament. But yeah, what really caught my eye and made me change the player I wanted to talk about was he actually became the first player ever with multiple homers in different games, but all in one game in the World Baseball Classic ever. So I thought that was really crazy and interesting, and they're doing so good. They have good momentum. So I think going forward, it'll be fun to keep watching them.
Honestly, going through like the next, going into the quarterfinals, it's going to be interesting how the rest of this World Baseball Classic will play out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially with Japan, they've been basically unstoppable, and I feel like they're literally the most successful team in the entire World Baseball Classic. They won back-to-back for the first 2 years of the World Baseball Classic. They won last year. They might make another deep run.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Oh yeah, let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll sort through our remaining sports garbage right after this. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the show. Josh, let's take a look at some highlights from this last game here. What a performance by the UWW-TV staff in this one.
Absolutely. Look at this clip. Bree is going to signal for Ryan to cut to camera 2, but instead Ryan's going to cut to 3, and that's where things might take a turn. But hold on a second here. Just when you think it's over, Bree makes the split-second decision and reaches over Ryan to cut to camera 2 herself.
And the truck goes wild. Once again, the UWW-TV staff delivers.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Accepted anyways. Oh, she got that. Oh, they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Welcome back to Garbage Time on UWW-TV. Let's continue with more sports. Next, we'll be talking about college hockey. So the 2026 National Championship Women's Ice Hockey stage is set. Who do you have taking the championship home and why?
I have the Wisconsin Badgers. They really proved they can be a tough contender in this playoff because they had beaten Ohio State, who was the #1 seed, and Minnesota, who is the #4 seed, multiple times throughout the regular season. And it's going to be interesting to see, they're going to be put to the test. They have Quinnipiac and the winner of that game, Quinnipiac or Franklin Pierce in their first playoff game. But you never know. I mean, seeds barely matter because you can definitely have huge upsets.
Yeah, definitely me. I mean, I got to talk about the number 1 seed in this tournament. I got to talk about Ohio State. They will play the winner between Minnesota Duluth and Yale. But you look at this Ohio State team, their only losses, they lost 3 times to Wisconsin and they lost once to Minnesota. I mean, we could agree, those are going to be the 3 best teams in this tournament. But looking at Ohio State, like this team has offense and they got a lot. And that offense is led by Joy Dunn. I mean, she's just been remarkable this year. She leads the team in points with 62. She's got 29 goals and 33 assists. Just what a year for Joy Dunn that she's been having this year. And then she's also complemented by Jocelyn Amos and Jenna Buglioni, who have been very solid as well. And then goaltending is a little bit kind of sketchy, but you know, if Amanda Thiel, she gets in her zone, she can definitely lead this team to a title. I think she's going to be the X factor. How will she do against some of these high-powered offenses like Wisconsin and then your team coming up next?
Yeah, I've got to go with my former and future school, the Minnesota Gophers. I've got them taking it all. You know, they've had ranked wins, they've had wins all season, but recently they struggled a little bit without Abby Murphy and Josephine Bovang while they were at the Olympics. And this really took a toll on them because with Abby Murphy, she leads the country with goals per game, 1.27, and Josephine Bovang is top 30 in the nation in goals. So without those 2, they struggled. But with them back, I think if they can get right back to where they were and these 2 are playing strong, I think they have a good chance to go far in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, there are like a lot of big teams in this tournament. I mean, what's crazy, something I found out about Wisconsin's conference, it's Wisconsin, Ohio State, and then the rest are Minnesota teams.
Yeah, well, Wisconsin, the crazy thing, the 3 teams that we talked about are all in the same conference, the WCHA. It's just impressive about how loaded this conference is.
Yeah, I mean, like the WCHA, it's the SEC of hockey. It's the WIAC of women's hockey. I mean, it's basically the best conference in like women's hockey.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. So moving on, I want to take it to our Is It Garbage segment. Now that we're near the end of our show today, I want to play a little game with you guys called Is It Garbage? I'm going to give you a new topic, and you guys are going to tell me if it's garbage or not. Let's start. So number 1, was the Green Bay Packers signing linebacker Zaire Franklin garbage or not?
I'm going to say no. Twitter users are going to say yes. I see you out there, you Twitter users. They like to hate on everything. But, I mean, I think this is a good move for the Packers. I mean, you're losing Quay Walker in free agency. You're losing Rashawn Gary. So you kind of need, that veteran linebacker. And I think even though Zaire Franklin kind of had a down year last year, what he did with the Colts the year before, I think he was very good. I mean, he led the league in tackles like just a couple years ago. But overall, I think this is a good move for the Packers, especially replacing that hole in Quay Walker. And I think Franklin could be a very vital piece to this Packers linebacking core.
I'm going to agree with you and say this is also not garbage. Yes, he was not that great last year, but if you look back on his previous years, he was actually really solid. Like he had in his best years, last year he had 125 tackles. Previous years you have 173, 179, 167 tackles. 2025 was more of a slow year, but when he comes back to when he goes to the Packers, one thing they're really good at is player development, and that's why they're like one of the greatest teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with both you guys and say not garbage. Yeah, he is coming off that slow year like you said, but even with that slow year over the last 3 years, 519 tackles. I mean, and just 2 years ago in 2024 was when he led the league with 173 and made the Pro Bowl. So I think with that just having been 2 years ago, if he can get back to that peak, which isn't that far away, I think this could be a big win for the Packers.
Sure will be. I mean, especially with their other signings as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be interested to see how Franklin and Edrin Cooper will pair up together. I'd be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah. All right, our next question. Do you think the engine problems during the Formula One race were garbage or not?
For me, it's definitely garbage. I mean, this is just kind of unfortunate turn of events for Aston Martin because they made their switch over to their engines to be made by Honda, making them the only team to use Japanese power units. However, during their preseason testing in Bahrain, the AMR 26 faced persistent technical problems like including battery failures, internal combustion challenges, and as well as engine vibrations and some cooling issues. And so this is definitely garbage because it caused them limited track running and a pace deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely with me. Like, you've seen, like, I mean, of course, NASCAR, I mean, they have some Japanese motors with Toyota as well, but I think they kind of Americanize it. But it's kind of interesting seeing Formula One, like, kind of making that switch to Honda, you know. There's not really, like, that many, like, Japanese racers in the Formula One anyways, but it's very interesting. It's always risky as well making the choice, but, like, apparently not working out for Aston Martin in this place. But we're going to see if they're going to go back to their old manufacturer, they're going to keep sticking to Honda this year, trying to work it out. But this has always been kind of been an issue for a little bit while now in the world of auto sports.
Yeah. See, I bounced between, my original thing was currently garbage, and I kept it. But while we were sitting here before the show, I almost changed it. I just, because I can't be for sure about what we're seeing, you know. At the beginning of the race, there was 7 overtakes for the lead in the first 9 laps, which you just never see. My jaw dropped when I saw that. But a lot of these were due to, you know, energy management formulas and how drivers are deploying and harvesting the energy. We don't know how much of that was really just, you know, skill. And Albert Park, you know, Australia, where the track, one of the most energy limited tracks on the calendar. You know, there's the least amount of turns in long straights. So instead of, you know, harvesting energy, drivers are just having to deploy it without being able to harvest. So there's no energy for them to give. So it's really hard to tell. We're just gonna have to wait to see in future races that have more places to harvest energy. And our last, is it garbage? The VAR was used in a FA Cup match between Wrexham and Chelsea. Now, do you think this was garbage or not?
Go ahead.
I do not think so. I mean, you look at the rules of the FA Cup, it says like VAR is not used in the earlier rounds, but is in the later rounds. This was the 5th round, the round of 16, which is a later round. So I think the biggest controversy here is that Premier League teams use it, meanwhile Champion Leagues, like, they don't use it. Well, Premier League is kind of like the top league in England, so I think, like, you know, they have more technology in that stuff. So I would think that they definitely should use VAR. And like, VAR is such a great tool for these refs because, you know, they miss a call, they could go to the VAR, kind of like similar to replay assist in the NFL. I mean, I think they should keep this rule. I think VAR, I think they should try to implement VAR into those lower level leagues as well in England. I mean, VAR is I just think it's a great resource overall, and they should not take this out.
Yeah, I'm also going to say this is not garbage as well because, yes, it's not used in the Championship League, but it is used in Premier League. But however, this is a tournament. This isn't just any league. This is just any league. This is the Emirates FA Cup. And so we should definitely stick with tournament rules and say that, well, we're using it. It doesn't matter what your league rules are. This is a tournament. And also, the best teams in the Championship League, they get moved up. And then the Premier League, the worst ones, they get relegated. So honestly, this is not garbage. I'd say it could be used for both because you have relegation on the line as well as other leagues as well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys and say not garbage. The VAR is only used for 4 match-changing situations, which is goals, penalties, red cards, and mistaken identity. So in all these situations, this is just to make sure that the call made was right. So it's not to hurt any team or favor another team. It's just to make sure that the call that was made was the right one. So I don't see how it could be garbage. It's just to make sure things were done right in the sport or in the moment. And our final segment, the garbage play of the week. What's the dumbest thing in sports that you guys have to rant about?
I have the Boston University game-winning shot against Navy. Okay. So this was actually an unbelievable play if you just look at it. So Boston University, they win on a half-court buzzer beater to eliminate Navy from the March Madness contention and the Patriot League tournament. Here's the issue with it. On the Boston University inbound pass, the clock started 3 seconds late. And so that caused Navy to end up losing this game and lose their contention in the March Madness tournament, as well as getting knocked out of the Patriot League tournament. And so the game would end 73-72 instead of going to overtime.
Yeah, Navy, I thought, was the best league in the Patriot League by far and looked like the greatest threat to actually beating somebody. So It is what it is. But anyways, for me, I got a couple for y'all. So first of all, this Miami, Ohio disrespect is getting out of hand because they went 31-0, and now bracketologists are saying that if they lose at all in the MAC tournament, they will not make the tournament. And I just think that is outrageous. And they're putting in 16-15 Auburn over them, which I get Auburn has this tough schedule, but I mean, come on. I mean, when are we going to start valuing games in the regular season for Miami, Ohio? I get if you say that Auburn's a better team than Miami, Ohio, but Miami, Ohio should deserve to be in this NCAA tournament no matter what. And then my last thing I got here. So Utah Valley is kind of a situation. So the WAC is the conference that Utah Valley is in, and they are going to try. They're going to go leave for the Big West next year. The problem is Utah Valley is not paying their exit fee. So the WAC made a statement today. It said that if Utah Valley does not pay their exit fee, they will be both men's and women's teams will be kicked out of the WAC tournament. And if you know, you have to win your conference tournament to get in. And the men's side, Utah Valley is the best team in the WAC. So I just think that you just gotta let the kids play.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure out this exit fee stuff later, but give them fines or whatever, increase it, or figure in the courts later. But you gotta let the college kids play. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for Utah Valley to make the NCAA tournament. It's ruined because of off the court issues that's not in their control.
Yeah.
I would like to correct myself on something. I did say the game would have gone to overtime, but Navy would have won 72-70, not go to overtime.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the thing I have to rant about is just SGA foul baiting. I tuned into the Denver game, right when it started almost, and within the first couple minutes, I'm seeing SGA flopping, foul baiting, and I'm sick of it, to be honest. It's just not real basketball in my eyes. Just searching for a foul. If you get to play for the bucket, if you get the foul, you get the foul. I don't think you should be looking for it like that. Obviously, I know you go draw fouls, but I don't think you should be looking that hard for it. But thanks, guys, but we're out of time. Stay tuned to UWW-TV for more Garbage Time next week. For Eli Stickles and Michael Hernan, I'm Josh Rory, and this has been Garbage Time on UWW-TV.